Darrell, Tuesday was harsh, but just tell us a bit about how you kind of use an experience like that, not to motivate players, but to get them to learn and to understand about the demands of the division, and also how you want them to play and manage a game.
Well, first of all, let's look at the positives. For 80 minutes going toe-to-toe with a team of Derby's quality, and not a lot in the game, and leading was an unbelievable achievement with some big players missing as well. So proud of the performance up to 80 minutes. I just thought the last 10-15 minutes of the game, too many loose transitions, something that we reviewed, game management, which has been pretty consistent for a while now, was lacking a little bit, but you could see with the boys how much effort they put into the game, and sometimes you have to take your medicine, and credit to Derby for the way they're on a unbelievable unbeaten run, but they weren't. I don't think there were many players in their team that have played 150, 200. Some have played 150, 200 Premier League games, never mind Championship games. But to go toe to toe with them, I was proud about a lot of the performance the other night. I was.
Has it maybe taught some of them about the challenges of League One and the step up and the standard as well?
Yeah, but we knew that when we come up. This club's come a hell of a long way in 23 months, and we are competing. We're competing hard. I think we've been in most games, but we want to keep improving, and that's always my question to my players: can they keep improving and getting better? A couple of disappointing results, but performance-wise, certainly against Derby was a lot better.
It says a lot, though, that against the team that was in the Championship last year in Peterborough, and a team, as you've just said there, that's got a lot of players with Premier League experience, you're disappointed not to have come away with something.
Yeah, no, it is, and but we also want to win those games.
Yeah.
We're a winner, my staff's winners, and we want to focus that we are getting better, that we do keep trying to improve, but that's effort, determination, attitude, quality. The lads are giving everything they can.
What is the kind of next step then to if you like, bridge that gap? What do you feel is the next step?
Well, there's a lot of things. I think we've come so far as a football club, but there's also certainly aspects of the football club that need to be improved. The family's done amazing. The Shanahan family, the support, the money they put into the football club, but we are still a fair distance away from trying to get into the Championship. The pitch, the training ground, all these things and areas, and need to be improved. But that comes over time. And I know it's always a key question, you guys, and everybody wants to know transfer window, but it's important that a message has to come out there that it's not just about money spent on the pitch. The money has to be spent in all areas of the football club to try and to keep on improving it. So that has to come into consideration. The support that we get's been outstanding, but there's sometimes you have to have a good reset, look where we're at, look where we need to go, and do it in the right manner, and try and build a sustainable football club, and that's what we want to do. There's been a lot of areas since I've been in the football club for 23 months. There's been a lot of areas of the football club that have improved, getting the new training zone, ice baths, heating baths, all things that have added to give us points on the football pitch. And there's still a lot of areas that we need to improve on. So at times it can't always be spent on first team players, and I know everybody wants to see that, but we have to keep growing the other side, everything else of the business, to make sure that when we do feel that we can really compete against and get ourselves into the top six of the division, that we're ready as a football club, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, from what you just said there, I mean, it sounds like you understand that the infrastructure is just as important as the 11 players that you put out there on a match day. From your experience in the game as a whole, what does that lead to in the long term if you get that infrastructure right?
Well, listen, a selfish manager, and listen, managers are graded on results. The way I look at it, I'm not a selfish manager. If it meant money being spent on the first team pitch, which needs to be improved, but that has to come off the playing budget or playing. Then that has to be done, because that's the best for the football club. If the training ground needs to improve, and like I say, when that has to be the way, because that's how it should be built. But it's not the flavour, is it, that everybody wants to see? They want to see the big signings coming on the pitch. They want to see big name players coming into the football club and building that way, where we've still got a lot of work to do. We don't take our eye off the ball there. Recruitment's working very, very hard to get the right players that we need into the football club at the right price. But we also have to have an understanding as a football club that there's all other areas that need money. They need putting into it, and you can already see the money that's been put into the football club in the Robbie Williams suite, is it called, upstairs, the training zone, and we need to balance it up correctly. We're never. This is no disrespect, but we're never ever going to be able to compete with the League One top 10 financially, in my opinion, in this league. But what you can do is you can get building towards that with getting a right, correct structure in place and infrastructure in place, and that's what we're working hard as a football club to do.
When you see somebody like Ipswich spend £1 million on a right back as well, that kind of just shows you the ballpark that you're batting in, really, doesn't it? That for all that good work, there are going to be teams that have got more financial muscle than you this time.
There is, but there's teams in this division that are that. I think it's the biggest jump now, if I'm honest with you, League One to try and get to the champ. I think the gulf between there is some big clubs in there is massive, but it can't not be done. That's why I get out of bed and I say it all the time. We have hungry people in this football club, myself, David Flitcroft, my staff, that want to keep making sure that we do get better and better and hopefully be able to compete. And we are competing. Hey, let's make no bones about it. For 80 minutes we were toe-to-toe against a very good Derby team. So without a shadow of doubt, we are improving and we want to keep doing that.
When it does come to players, though, I suppose, I know you've said this before, but it is a matter of getting the right one rather than just, with a week to go or whatever of the window going, well, we've only got one in, we need 3 or 4 or whatever.
Yeah, listen, you can stockpile. There's loads of players out there but you can stockpile that, but you can quickly, at the levels we're at, you can quickly put players in your team that don't improve us as well, if that makes sense. So we keep on searching for the right sort of player to come in to improve us. And that's key, because these lads have done tremendously so far. We want obviously the better calibre players to improve us.
What are you looking for in a player you might get either now or in the summer or whatever?
Listen, it improves us. It's as simple as that, because the hardest thing at times is on loan players is that they're not your player. How long have they got on their contracts at the club? Are they on the holidays in March time? Listen, all these things come into the mix. We need players that match what's in our changing rooms. Attitude, commitment, desire. The non-negotiables that we work as a football club. And then obviously you need them to have that quality, but if they don't touch the first 3 and there's a lingering doubt that some young players that might be out on the first time loan, which is a gamble in itself. Anybody will tell you that in football managing. You hit and misses on first time out loans are very hard to predict how well they go. So getting the right one in is always key.
Do you have to be a really good judge of not just their ability but their character as well?
Yeah, we do a lot of work. Like I said, we do a hell of a lot of work. We've presented to a lot of players already this window that we've tried to bring in for whatever reason. Sometimes they don't come off. They end up going to different football clubs higher up the pyramid. So we try and get the best calibre player. That's our job, to get the best calibre player, and sometimes that takes a bit of time and sometimes it doesn't come off. So we just keep chipping away and working away.
Thank you.
Darrell, obviously you've already said the quality that you saw on Tuesday night, and we all saw it there, but there are the occasional errors. When you're discussing that, do you do it with obviously the team and then individually talk to the players that might be involved?
Yeah, we do, George. I'm sorry, jump on your question. We review every game, the good and the bad. So the work that I think my players get here is absolutely tremendous, and I've got a tremendous backroom team that we deliver that, but you deliver that in the right messages to learn and to develop and to try and keep getting better individually and collectively.
Because those are the plus points we saw on Tuesday, isn't it, really? But they're always that little small margin which you've said about before, where maybe that's the difference between beating a team like Derby or getting a result.
Yeah, but if I was to say to you 23 months ago we're going to go play Derby twice in a season, we're going to win them once and lose once, and we're going to be very, very competitive in both games, you might have given me a slap, George. You might say, wake up. So it's also a testament to how far we've come. Okay, but that's not to sit on our laurels. I'm not saying that says, I want to stand still, because I don't. I certainly don't. My staff don't. My players don't. So we've got to keep getting better. And the way you keep better is reviewing what you do good and bad and trying to improve your next game.
And we've seen the quality that you're able to meet and play against, but a differential is coming Saturday, isn't it, really? And you wouldn't, without being disrespectful to Cheltenham, put Cheltenham in the Derby quality, would you, in terms of? So is the way you approach that game different in many ways, or is it just the fact we are a team, we want to go and win this?
So consistency with our work, yet again. Cheltenham, as we know, aren't a bigger side as Derby, but they're still a very good football team, can score goals, can hurt you, got some good players. So any game in professional football now, you have to prepare ready. And we have that consistency message of reviewing the strengths and the weaknesses. The boys will tell you how much detail they get to try and win a football game, and then over to them, and manager can make some changes if things aren't working.
But you go into the game, because there are a lot of plus points. I know when we saw you after the game, you were down, the players were down, you said that, and you've got to lift them, but you said, we're going to lift them, and you have lifted them, aren't they? You've probably seen that in the first day's training back yesterday, Darrell.
Yeah, no, I said to him, I said to him yesterday morning, and we don't want no sour faces, get ourselves picked up, we take our medicine, we regroup, and we go again.
And from that point of view, you can build another run, can't you? Because you've proved in the past you can do that.
Yeah, of course we can. Of course you can. Football's momentum. But for me, we just got to focus on the first game. That's Cheltenham Saturday. Tough game. Always is a tough away game at Cheltenham. So we go there and give it our best.